Hello, everyone. Welcome to Courageous Conversations. Again, I'm with this terrific guest, and I'm going to do a little sharing before I introduce you. But firstly, if you come on, let us know you're here, and just give us an indication that you're with us. And we're going to be talking about dating. This is my incomparable guest, Shannon Tebb. Welcome, Shannon.
Thank you. Yeah. Thanks for having me.
I'm so glad you're here. And I'm just going to do a little sharing on my group, which is Courageous Conversations, which, of course, I'd love you guys to join at some point because it's a place for support and for, if you're having courageous decisions, courageous acts, this would be a great group for you to join. And also on my page, Courageous Conversations, which keeps you up to date on this show. Yeah. Yay. So good to see you, Shanny. Shanny.
Yes.
You're so cute. We met at a hi everyone who's coming on. Hi Bob
hi.
If you're hi Sonia, nice to see you. Hi Michael. Yeah, please come by and join us and let us know you're around so we can actually have a conversation, have a courageous conversation. All right, here we go. So, Shannon, boutique matchmaker, the coolest title I've ever heard. And firstly, what got you into being a dating expert? So, what got you into that? Let me hear. Let the people know. And if you guys have questions for Shannon, please bring them forth.
Yeah, this is a good opportunity.
This is a good opportunity. She really is an expert, a real expert in the land of dating. And have you been, sort of struggling with dating?
Yeah.
This is a person to talk to. So how'd you get into it? How'd you get into this world of the dating expert stuff?
So in university, I was always kind of the go-to person. Everyone wanted to ask me dating advice, like when do I text him?
Right.
When do I follow up on like a last date? So I think I've just had like that natural edge to give people relationship advice.
Yes.
Growing up with a single mom.
Oh yeah.
So my
what
mom,
was that like?
Oh, she had lots of boyfriends, and I was always kind of like that younger child who was interested in how people connected.
Yeah.
And
so you were observing connections.
Yes.
Okay.
And what works and what doesn't work, and the breakdowns through relationships, and how to overcome them and be successful on the next date.
Yeah, and that's I have to say I work with a lot of people who are in the dating world and or who want to be in the dating world, and what they struggle with. The new modern dating experience
has changed. It's
really changed, and people talk about ghosting. I mean, we used to say, well, he just never called me back, or she never called me back, or she just pulled a disappearing act. But today it's called ghosting, and it just seems to be so easy for people to do it. It's such a painful thing for people.
Yeah, well, we saw ghosting hit the Webster Dictionary in 2016.
Oh.
And this is when, basically what ghosting is when you're in a relationship with someone and all of a sudden they just vanish completely.
Yeah. Has anyone ever experienced that?
The texting stopped, the phone calls, there's no emails. And it's basically just an easy way out of the relationship.
An easy way out, so you don't have to be courageous in any way.
Yes. If anything, it's more of like a coward act, I would say.
I agree.
Yeah, because these people are left feeling, what happened, what went wrong, and people are really upset because they're being disrespected. So
it is. I would say it's one of the most disrespectful things to do. Is when you don't. So what do you suggest people who are I got to get out of this thing. Mm-hmm. I don't want to be here. I'm not enjoying this anymore. What do you suggest?
Well, I like to call it be a friendly Casper. So that's being a friendly ghost, right? It's cute, something to remember. So what you need to do is
What would they say? What would they say, do you think?
You have to have like an in-person conversation.
Okay.
So I'm feeling there's a disconnect in the relationship.
Right.
Perhaps, I'm not feeling that there's a strong connection. Or maybe I'm not emotionally ready for a relationship, and I've kind of jumped into this full-fledged.
Right.
So I think being open and honest with your feelings, and giving the person, a sense of reason why it's not working out is definitely going to help them move forward productively,
right,
and not feel jaded, right?
So they would say honestly and courageously.
Be completely authentic, open and vulnerable, and let them know how you're feeling. Use feeling words.
Yeah.
Like I feel, I
Use
feel uneasy. Rather than you're not good enough, you're lazy, you're this. Say how you feel in that relationship.
It's not about you. It's I.
Feeling words go go a great way rather than you're this, you're that. So
be vulnerable.
Yes.
Be vulnerable.
Dig deep and express how you're feeling throughout that relationship.
And a lot of people would say to me as a therapist, it's like, I don't want to reveal my true vulnerability here because I'm afraid I'm going to get eaten alive. What do you say to some people who are saying that?
When really it's the opposite. I think the more you share and the more vulnerable you are, that's when you're going to get the answers you need.
Yeah.
And the validation.
What's your experience on the dating scene yourself? What's it?
Oh, it's interesting. Well, my main focus is my clients, but it's funny. As a single matchmaker, I'm able to completely identify with what all you singles are going through.
That's right. Mm-hmm. And
and the obstacles, right?
And the obstacles, exactly. What do you think are the main obstacles today for people? Like when people are saying, "Oh, I don't want to get on the apps." I mean, I've been in a relationship for 27 years, so yeah. I'm like, this is why I have you on, because I'm like, give me some tips to talk to my clients about, because they're struggling with the swipe left, swipe right stuff. They're struggling with all of that.
Exactly.
They find that really impersonal. And what do you even young people are finding that really difficult.
Well, it's very overwhelming because you really want to put yourself out there. So you may join 5 dating apps, and then all of a sudden you're so overwhelmed with all this messaging.
Because there's so much messaging.
It's maintenance, right? So you have to go in, you have to do the messaging. So I think the major concern today for singles is time.
Right.
Do they have the time to date, and are they willing to set time aside?
What do you think is a good regimen for people who want to be on the apps, like be on 5 apps, 2 apps, 3 apps? What's ideal?
I think it's
what
ideal.
are the best apps?
I think it's ideal to start with 2.
Okay.
I like Bumble. There's Fitness Singles, Hinge.
Okay.
There's Match.com is a good online dating site as well. I think you have to kind of do your research, see what works for you.
Yeah.
And if you feel like the online dating, you're not feeling results with that, what you can do is source out a matchmaker or a dating coach to kind of help you throughout the process.
Now I'm going to throw a total curveball at you.
Okay.
I have not talked to you about this. Yeah.
Yeah.
So let's just say I'm going to give you a scenario of someone who is struggling with a disease.
Okay.
Okay? Like they're recovering from cancer.
Okay.
And they want to get out there. They are single, and they want to, they're working in a way that they're back sort of, they're in remission, let's say, their hair is growing back.
Sure.
And, they want to get out there again. They would like to get out there again. Do they talk about their illness? What do they do? What is your opinion as an expert?
So this is kind of like, are they emotionally available to put themselves back out there again? Is that kind of...
They are. They're like, I want to date. I want to meet some people. I'm sick of this effing disease that I've been through for the past 6 months. I'm on the other side of it. My hair's growing back. I got a hot wig, and I'm thinking about someone in particular as I'm telling you this.
Okay.
But do they talk about their illness?
I think that.
What do you think? And when do they start?
I don't think you bring up. I don't think talking about your illness is a priority. I think rather than labeling yourself as I was sick, I'm ill. What you want to do is share with that person who you are today.
Yeah.
So you want to who are you in this moment at this time? Leaving your illness and leaving the past behind. Who are you now, and what can you offer somebody?
Okay.
So you really want to build up your communities, and you want to make sure you have a career and friendships and maybe you're joining a sports team or taking a course. You really want to put yourself back out there again and build yourself up so that when you do meet people, it's not about talking about your illness. It's more about sharing who you are, what you can offer this person. And then as the relationship becomes stronger and you feel more of a closer connection with this person, that's when you can share, personal matters as, your illness and your
recovery. Give it a little time.
Yes.
Give it some time.
Give it some time. I feel like people don't need to know all of your business in the first few dates. It's really about sharing certain things, but not oversharing.
Yeah. What would be 1 or 2 things that you could tell people that are dating is the most important thing for people to go out into the dating world in a healthy way? So, letting go of the baggage. How do they let go of the baggage? Tell me a little bit about that. Of the the ex person, the person that keeps influencing their brain.
So how to let go of your ex. So first of all, really, like if you do have a breakup, you have to completely remove them off of social media. I call it doing a social media cleanse.
I love it.
Where you kind of go back into your social media, you clear out all the old photos. You also your physical environment is very important. So if there's pictures lying around or like an old t-shirt or his underwear, get rid of that shit, pack it up.
Or her underwear.
Or her underwear.
Or her bra.
So you want to pack that up and send it away because you really want to start fresh. And now it's the opportunity to really look inwards and start loving you. Love you more than you've loved him or her.
Okay.
Right?
Yeah. And it shows, doesn't it? When you go out, what I say to my clients is, before you go out on that date,
you have to date yourself.
Date yourself.
So by dating yourself is also making sure that you're comfortable in the outside world, not just in your four walls.
Right.
So everyone's like, a lot of people are like, you know what, I'm good on my own, I'm really happy. But they're staying inside. They're not
isolating.
They're not taking themselves out for dinner or going to a movie alone. And I know that can be scary to like sit at a bar and have a dinner on your own. But this is where you're gonna build up your confidence.
Right.
And you're gonna connect with other people who are there. And it's a good opportunity just to see how you are out there.
What's your main, do you have a demographic or do you work with people who are in their 30s, 40s, 50s? Like what?
Yeah, mostly 30s and 40s I work with. I do have a younger brand. So I work anywhere from 25 to 55, but the majority of my clients are in the 30s and 40s.
But since you do work with a little bit older, when you say 35 to 55, let's say somebody's in their 50s or even their late 40s, who's like this whole world, maybe they've come out of a divorce.
Yeah, and they've been married for 20 years.
That's right. What's an important thing for them to know? Because they're just hitting the scene. They're like, obviously they're not going to be going to bars in the King and, in the King and West Village.
Yeah, a lot of times people are like, Shani, where do I start? So I think the first thing is really revamping yourself, maybe doing like an image consulting. You really want to look at...
So it's from the outside in or from the inside out?
Well, it's from the inside out, I would say.
Yeah.
So, first, like, in order to be courageous, you have to really understand what your gifts are and your best attributes.
Right. And understand yourself.
Yeah, understand who you are.
That's excellent.
And what you can offer.
Yeah.
So, a good task for that is to make a list of your top 10 attributes. And what are your strong suits?
So everybody's out there has got to do that. Make a list of your top 10 attributes.
Or you can start with 5. We don't want to overwhelm you.
That's right. Yeah. And really start to understand what it is that you can bring to the table.
Yeah.
Because you got to like yourself.
What are your special gifts? What are you passionate about? Again, all of this stuff is good to share on a date rather than just having like the interview talk.
Because being passionate about things is very attractive.
It is. And when
people like it when you're a passionate person about what you're doing and you're not like needy on the other person that you completely.
You have to have your own life.
Yes.
That's why I said you really have to date yourself first and build yourself up so that you become that magnet and you basically are attracting people and you're not even knowing it. You're just this magnet.
That's
and everybody wants a piece of you.
Right. How do you become a magnet again? You are passionate.
Yeah, you're passionate about things. You're actually giving back to your community. You're not just taking selfies all day on Instagram. You're adding value.
Oh, thank you, Lord Jesus, Mary and Joseph.
So you're adding value to your community. You're giving back. You're volunteering.
Yes.
You're part of charities. Whatever it may be, you're doing something special for people out there.
Yeah.
And that's going to build you up too as a single woman.
Or a single man.
Right?
It's both, right? It's both. Single men, single. I like that you're saying don't be so into that kind of narcissistic energy of selfie.
Yes.
I think that self-love is not narcissism. Self-love is an act of self-acceptance, self-compassion, being in touch with the deeper aspects of yourself, which is really, really different from selfie. I mean, we all do. I love doing a selfie periodically, but it's not about that's all. Like when I look at people's profiles, I think all you have is pictures of yourself. Why is that? Like all you see in an Instagram profile is pictures of themselves. No. What about pictures with other people, beautiful experiences?
Exactly.
So that you're a full human being.
Yeah, you want to showcase who you are as a full person. And what are all these aspects of your life? You want to showcase that and not just have pictures of yourself, for sure.
One of the things, one of the case studies in my second book, Connecting, which is all about, this thing that we're doing, connecting, is about a woman who gives up her hobbies when she starts dating, gives up her own things that she enjoys doing. And, what happens is she ends up in a psychotherapist office.
Okay.
Because she's depressed. Right? She's depressed.
She's not living her full life.
Exactly. So talk to me, or talk to our wonderful viewers a little bit about what you would say is important in terms of when you get out there, don't let go of your hobbies.
No, and also for someone who's a divorcee, maybe you've been busy.
A gay divorcee.
You've been busy raising your children and you stopped painting for 15 years and that was something that lit you up and you were passionate about.
Right.
Get back into the studio. Start painting again. Start doing things that are going to light you up and inspire you to, feel better about yourself and just make you jump out of bed in the morning. It could be anything from, gardening or volunteering at a soup kitchen, whatever it may be.
So that what I'm hearing you say is, what's attractive, everybody? Self-care.
Self-care, self-love.
Yeah, this is attractive to other people.
And integrity is very attractive too. So keeping your word, if you're committing to something
at a time, be there.
You're there. You're showing up. You're showing up to the date. You're showing up fully vulnerable and excited to meet this person who's in front of you, not having prejudgment or thinking, oh, this person's just like my ex, or all guys are non-committal, or all women are gold diggers. You really want to remove all of that negativity and just go into each dating experience really fresh, focused, and have fun. You
know what I love about what you're saying? Tell them right now what your key trait is that's most attractive. It's that you said vulnerable, you've said integrity, you said all those things.
Authentic. I think being completely authentic is really sexy. So
I love it.
Like just showing up like who you are. Like there's no screens, there's no it's just real. It's raw.
Sexy.
That's sexy.
Well, I saw a meme.
People feel that.
I saw a meme the other day that guys who are looking in what it was. Guys who are conscious is the new sexy, or guys who are vulnerable and real.
Sapiosexuals, being attracted to someone's mind versus just like how they show up on Instagram and they're, all of this. What connecting,
this.
Sapiosexuals are very connected to the mind. So, connecting with thoughts and feelings and goals and how you see the world and what you want to accomplish.
I'm loving this. I'm loving this because it's right up what I feel is the most important thing in the human connection experience, which is bring to the table your whole being, not just your physical being. And the world is too physical oriented. You need to be healthy.
Yes.
Go to the gym, all those things.
It's great to look good, but but when those things, I'm not going to say when they wear off, but as we get older,
as they do,
our looks are going to change. Everything's going to change. So it's more important to look inwards and who you are as a person and your spirit and your integrity and, being best friends with your partner.
Oh, I like that.
Marry your best friend.
You know what? John Gottman, who is sort of the father of couples therapy, whom I quote a lot in my work, and I work a lot when I work with couples, and he's like a mathematician, and he had the Love Lab. Look him up, John Gottman. Over 40 years. You know what he says is the number one thing that keeps a couple together, because he could predict whether couples would break up or not. The number one thing is if they treat each other like best friends.
Yes, it's
consider it to the best friend level, and of course sexuality is, sex is so important.
Yes, of course.
And if you have a problem in a situation, fix it quickly, apologize, whatever. But being best friends. So what you're looking for in the dating realm isn't only someone you're sexually attracted to and hot for, but someone that you can trust and lean on. Exactly.
Communication, someone you can really talk to.
That's right.
Not.
And I worry about today because these days, it's really different.
With texting.
It's all text, short form. So people aren't developing their
emotional connection.
That's right. The emotional, communicative, courageous conversations with themselves and others. And it worries me. It truly, truly worries me because I shouldn't say worries me, but it concerns me that people need to cultivate cultivate your ability to communicate.
And cultivate conversations that are worth talking about. Not just pushing them down and, oh, I'll deal with it another time.
That's right. Don't
Addressing
avoid.
it in that moment when you're present and taking care of it.
Taking care of it in the moment. So we're going to start our wrap up, but what I really want people to know is, how do they find you?
Okay.
You know, do you have any workshops that you offer for people?
Well, I'm also I do dating coaching by the hour. So I've done, you know, breakup recovery. I do image and styling.
Okay.
I've done, you know, online profile editing. So if you need help with your profile for dating.
Oh, cool. So if they're doing,
and also,
I definitely
really cool,
think that's so
I'm
cool.
a wing woman. I'm the Toronto wing woman. So I can actually take you out on the town.
Oh my God.
Like I say, some people learn better when they're thrown into a physical environment.
How did you get inspired to do all this? This is the coolest thing.
I'm someone who learns like through hands-on experiences,
right.
And I feel like we can sit here and we can talk for hours about, you know, do this, here's all these tips, but really it's about putting them into action.
And you go with them sometimes.
Yes, so I'm actually with you the whole time. We schedule about 3 hours. I take you around. I watch how you interact with the opposite sex. I give you tips on posture, you know, opening lines, what to say, follow up. And once you connect with the person, I kind of, you know, mingle away so that you're meeting people authentically.
This is like a movie.
Face to face.
This is like a movie. What was the movie? This Hitch, you said?
Yeah. Well, Hitch was the date coach that helped him.
The dating coach, right? But I think you are like an awesome dating coach. And Shanny in the City is where they would find you, right?
Yeah, ShannyInTheCity.com.
ShannyInTheCity.com. And follow her on Instagram. And you know, what I love about this is very, very real and hands-on and not so surface and so superficial.
And it's a boutique service, so that's why it's a very personalized service. So I sit down and I meet with every client, and there's no situation or any question that's weird or awkward.
Right.
It's about digging deep and pulling the best things out of you and you know, improving your dating strategies. That's all we can do.
That's all we can do. And you know, please get out there and date if you're single, and don't isolate. And if you are a single parent, what's good advice for a single parent?
Oh, for single parents, I think the best advice is to really just be open and honest with the person you're dating, and know when you are dating a single parent that it's dating a single parent, it's a full package deal. So you have to accept the children, and also things may move at a slower pace.
Yeah.
So slower pace. If you're a pre-planner, well, it may not work out because these people. Sometimes parents, you have to schedule things in last minute due to scheduling, and these people are extremely busy.
Right.
So be patient, be flexible, be understanding, and don't get involved in the divorce and the ex talk.
Yeah,
if
that
anything,
is the worst.
You be supportive to the parent you're dating, but you don't have to, you know, also talk bad about the ex, especially in front of the children. So that's not your divorce, that's their divorce.
Have you ever dated a single guy? I mean, a guy.
Yes,
course.
I've dated a single
guy.
Yeah.
Have you ever dated a single parent?
Yes, it was nice. It was nice. Yeah.
Yeah, because you get to involve yourself with a family dynamic.
It's great for somebody who doesn't have children but loves children.
Yeah.
So you take on this, you know, you get to spend time with their children, and also they're more committal. I think they like being in a relationship. And they're used to having someone around, so there's less games.
So what I'm hearing you say is be authentic. You know, don't lose your passions. Keep that whole world alive inside you.
Yeah, reclaim yourself after a breakup. Do the work. Let go. You know, figure out what your hobbies and interests are. Get your career sorted. Build yourself up so that.
Yeah.
You know, that when that
so that you're not needy.
Yes.
You know, you're doing you.
It's not about filling a void of losing an old spouse. It's not about filling that void. It's about filling your own self with things going on in your life.
Right.
So, yeah, you know.
This is so good. I'm so glad you came on here.
It's a pleasure.
For a courageous conversation about dating. And you know, be courageous with yourself. Don't allow yourself to just isolate. I believe that the richest lessons you will learn is through connection and through being in relationship to others. So don't just isolate because it's hard to date out there. Bring yourself back and get into the world of dating, because you know there's so much richness that can be had.
And another good tip: if you're scared to dive in straight full-fledged into dating, why not just start talking to strangers?
Whoa! That's courageous.
That's courageous. Put yourself out there, act like a tourist, and ask questions.
Oh, I love it. Act like a tourist.
Act like a tourist in your own city. It
love
may
that.
sound crazy, but it's a brilliant idea.
Absolutely, and it's courageous to do that. Take yourself out on a date on your own.
Yes.
Eat on your own at a restaurant. That's really courageous, I find.
Huge.
And, but yet it's so powerful because you develop confidence.
Confidence and independence.
Amazing. Shani in the City, boutique matchmaker, dating expert. Check her out. She's really got lots to tell you about doing it in an authentic, courageous, vulnerable, and real way. And I think that you will get lots from this lovely woman. Thank you so much for coming on the show.
Thank you so much for having me.
Thank you. It was so fun. And tomorrow I'll come back with another courageous conversation, and I'll let you know the topic. I'll be posting it, so make sure you're following. Have a beautiful day. Have a courageous conversation with yourself and someone else. Do you want to hit the finish button?
Yeah. Bye, everyone.
Bye.